Good morning, student. Today we will discuss our 10th unit, Training in Sports. Training means to give practical and theoretical knowledge. It is a process of preparing a sports person to improve his sports performance. We give training in a systematic and scientific way. Training it is a long-term process to improve the sports performance. And physical fitness. Physical fitness, it is the ability of an individual to do the work without any fatigue. And after the work is over, he has still energy to do the more work, as well as his recovery is faster and quicker. And there are components of physical fitness, that is strength, speed, endurance, flexibility, and coordinative ability. This component are directly or indirectly interrelated with each others, and each component has its own importance in different game and sports. Let's first discuss about strength. Strength, it is the ability of a muscle to overcome resistance or act against resistance. Okay, strength means the ability of a muscle to overcome the resistance. ठीक है, मसल की एबिलिटी रेसिस्टेंस को ओवरकम करने की. ठीक है, इट इज द एबिलिटी ऑफ अ मसल टू ओवरकम द रेसिस्टेंस, और it is the ability of a muscle to act against resistance. Strength can be defined as the amount of force a muscle can exert, or means it is a power. It is the ability of your muscles to overcome a resistance. There are two type of strength: static strength and dynamic strength. Static means fixed. So static strength, it is also known as isometric. Iso means same, metric means length, same length. So static strength means ability to act against resistance, means ability to overcome a resistance from a single or from a one positions, means ability to overcome the resistance को overcome करना from a single point without any movement. For examples, wrestling, powerlifting, or pushing a wall. In pushing a wall, you are um, in pushing a wall, there is no movement. You are using the powers, okay, but the movement, there is no movement. Dynamic means motion. So dynamic strength means ability to overcome the resistance. Okay, you have to overcome the resistance while in motion. And dynamic strength, there are three types: maximum strength, explosive strength, and strength endurance. Maximum strength is the ability to act against maximum resistance. Okay, maximum strength means ability to act against maximum resistance. ठीक है, maximum resistance को overcome करना. It is the quality of a muscle to contract forcefully in the quickest possible time, or we can say it is a powers. Okay, means maximum resistance. ठीक है, maximum resistance को आपको overcome करना है. For examples, in weightlifting, you have to overcome maximum resistance. Throwing, okay, you have to overcome maximum resistance. These all are the example of maximum resistance. Explosive strength means ability to overcome resistance with high speed. It is a combination of strength and speed. Okay, explosive strength, it is a combination of strength and speed. Explosive strength means ability, it is the ability to overcome the resistance. You have to overcome the resistance with high speed. For examples, in high jump, okay, in high jump you have to overcome the resistance with high speed. Or sprint running you have to overcome resistance with a high speed. Next is strength endurance. Strength endurance, it is a combination of strength and endurance, means ability to overcome the resistance under the condition of fatigue. Okay, in strength endurance you have to overcome the resistance under the conditions of fatigue. You are in fatigue condition, then also you have to overcome the resistance. For examples, long distance running, swimming, road cycling, mountaineering, marathon race, etc. These are the strength endurance in which you have to overcome the resistance in the condition of fatigue. Training methods for strength development. How you can develop your strength? There are three methods to develop the strength, that is isometric exercise, isotonic exercise, and isokinetic exercise. These are the three methods by which you can develop the strength. Let's discuss isometric exercise. Isometric. Okay, this isometric exercise, it is a combination of two words. Iso means same, metric means length. So in isometric exercise, the length of the muscles remains same. Okay, in isometric exercise, the length of the muscles remains same throughout the workout. There is no visible movement. The muscle contract to a maximum range, but there is no change in the length of the muscle. Okay, iso means same, metric means length. So in isometric exercise, the length of the muscle remains same. There is no movement. Therefore, the external movement we can't see. There is no external movement. The one is zero, and we cannot, there is no visibility of the movement. We can't see the movement. Okay, for example, pushing a wall. Okay, pushing a wall, uh, lifting a heavy object. Okay, in this you are using the force, but the the length of the muscles is not changing. Okay, and there is no visible movement. There is no visible movement. Okay, these all are the methods. Look at here, pushing the wall. Okay, pushing a wall, she is using the force, but there is no movement. There is no movement, so there is no visibility in the movement. No visible movement. Therefore, the work done is zero, and the length of the muscles remains same. Advantage. What are the advantages of isometric exercise? The first is perform anywheres. Moreover, no helpers is required. Isometric exercise we can perform anywhere, as well as no helpers is required. In isometric exercise, less or no equipments are required, as the object, as the immovable object are used. So no equipment, there is no equipment are required. Less time is required to perform, whereas effort is more. In isometric exercise, less time is required, and the effort is more. It can perform by the injured player also. Isometric exercise can be performed by the injured persons also. Isometric strength training exercise develop high level of static strength. Static means fixed, there is no movement. So isometric exercise helps to develop static strength as well as maximum stress. Thus effective for the total muscular strength, and this exercise can be performed during warming up season. And disadvantage, it develops static strength, whereas most of the game and sports are but in most of the sports dynamic strengths are required. You can see that in most of the game and sports the dynamic strength are required. Therefore this is the and this isometric exercise only develop static strength. Isometric exercise rise the blood pressures, okay, because more pressure is used, therefore it increase the blood pressures, therefore it is not recommended for the heart patient. Loss of intensity after a few days, because the same type of exercise in isometric exercise, the same type of exercise are done, therefore after a few days the interest of the persons become there is no interest of the persons due to the same exercise. And in this isometric exercise there is less variety of exercise, there is less variety of isotonic exercise. Okay, this is about isometric less variety of isometric exercise. Isometric exercise, iso means same, metric means length. So in isometric exercise the length of the muscles remain the same, the length of the muscle remain the same, therefore there is no movement. Okay, there is no movement and the work done is zero, we can't see any movement, we can't see any visible movement. Next is isotonic. Iso means same, tonic means tension. In isotonic exercise the tension, okay, the tension in the muscles remain the same. Okay, in isotonic exercise, in this strength training exercise the muscle group has tension along with movement and the tension is same. In isotonic exercise the length of the muscle changes during the actions with the tension in them. Simple. First thing is in isotonic exercise there is tension in the muscles. Okay, there is same tension in the muscles and the length of the muscles keep on changing. Some work is done during this exercise like jumping, running, doing skill, lifting the weight, doing any actions, movement, etc. Isotonic exercise. Isotonic exercise, it is of two type, concentric and eccentric. Concentric means in this it is the upward movement of actions in which the flexion muscles short during the actions, whereas extension muscles length in the size. Look at here, this is your flexion, this is your flexor muscles and this is your extension muscles. So in concentric your flexor muscles become short and your extension muscle become length. This is known as concentric exercise. Okay, in concentric your flexors muscles become short during the actions, whereas your extension muscles become length. फॉर एग्जाम्पल्स बाइसेप, ठीक है, अपने हैंड को अपवर्ड मूवमेंट करना. Okay, this is concentric upward movement in which your flexor muscles become short and your extension muscle become length. In eccentric it is the opposite, your extension muscles, ठीक है, in this your extension muscle, this your extension muscle becomes short and your flexor muscle become lengthened during the actions, that is downward movement. This is the types of concentric types of iso isotonic exercise. Advantage of isotonic exercise. First is it develops dynamic strength. Okay, isotonic exercise develop dynamic strength because the length of the muscles keep on changing. It is mostly required, and dynamic strength is mostly required in every game and sports. This exercise develop strength and endurance as both can develop together. It brings hypertrophy of muscle, that is muscle gain mass along with thickness. The mass of the muscles increase. Isotonic exercise also improve flexibility. The flexibility of the muscles improve. These exercises are used for developing explosive strength along with strength endurance. Okay, isotonic exercise help to develop explosive strength as well as strength endurance. And disadvantage is chance of stress and strain in injury. In this exercise, there is a chance of stress as well as strain injury due to the jerky actions if the body is not properly warm, and sometimes equipment to perform this exercise equipment are required. These are about the isotonic exercise. Isotonic exercise means iso means same, tonic mean tension. In isotonic exercise, uh, there is in isotonic exercise, the muscle group has tension. Okay, same tension, and there is change in the length of the muscles. Isokinetic. Iso means same, kinetic means motion or speed. Okay, iso means same, kinetic means motion. So in isokinetic exercise, there is a movement along with continuous tension in both flexor and extension muscles. Okay, and isokinetic exercise, the movement occurs at the same speed, but the muscle length changes while contraction is performed at a constant velocity. For example, cycling, swimming, etc. Okay, in this the okay, there is a same motion. Okay, in this there is a same motion. There is a movement along with continuous tension in your flexor and extension muscle. Both the flexor and extension muscles contract continuously. Like here, see, at the time of doing the cyclings, swimming, etc. These are the examples of isokinetic. Iso means same, kinetic means motion, movement. So in isokinetic exercise, there is a continuous the movement. There is a movement along with continuous tension. Okay, in isokinetic, there is a continuous movement along with continuous movement along with along with continuous tension in both flexor and extension muscle. Advantage of isokinetic. This isokinetic exercise also develop the dynamic strength. Okay, yeah, isokinetic also develop the dynamic strength as well as static strength. These are effective for almost every game because it develop your dynamic strength and it is required for every game and sports. This exercise, isokinetic exercise, also improve the endurance. It it improve all type of strength like explosive strength, maximum strength, endurance. Okay, isokinetic exercise develop all the dynamic strength. Disadvantage. First disadvantage is special equipment is required for isokinetics exercise, and this exercise should be performed under the observation of the coach, under the observation. Okay, this should be performed only in the observation of the coach or any expert. Endurance and its training methods. Endurance. Endurance is the ability to sustain or continue activity, or it is the ability to resist fatigue. Means endurance is the ability of an individual to continue an activity for a long period of time without any fatigue. There are the development of endurance indirectly develop the strength and speed. Endurance is required for almost every major game like football, hockey, basketball, etc. Means every game endurance is required. Means endurance means the ability of an individual to do the activity for a long period of time. If the persons have endurance, he can do. If the persons have endurance, he can do activity for a long period of time. Endurance is divided into two parts. It is endurance is of two type: aerobic endurance or anaerobic endurance. Aerobic endurance, or we can say short term or muscular endurance. This endurance is helpful to perform activity with fast speed. Okay, aerobic means anaerobics means in the absence of oxygen. So this endurance is performed with high speed. It is of two type: speed endurance and strength endurance. Speed endurance means you have to done the activity with fast speed. Okay, this is the type of endurance in which the activity is done with a high speed or intensity, and the duration is short, like 30 second to 60 second. You have to do the activity for 30 to 60 second with a high speed, with your maximum speed like 80 to 90% of your speed. And at this time it produces the lactic acid, oxygen depth, and it causes lot of fatigue. When you do the activity, it causes lactic acid, it leads to fatigue. This endurance is mostly required in medium distance race, 400 meters, swimming, etc. And strength endurance means you have to do the activity, you have to do the activity activity is done powerfully and forcefully for short duration, and this the duration is about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, you have to do the activity powerfully. Okay, strength means power, so you have to do the activity bit powerfully and forcefully for short duration, for durations for 2 to 3 minutes with maximum strength with pure muscular endurance. Muscular endurance, it is mainly required in wrestling, judo, boxing, etc. Long term endurance, or we can say aerobic endurance or cardiovascular endurance. Aerobics means in the presence of oxygen. So in this type of endurance is helpful when the activity is done for long period, for long duration, and the speed is slow. Okay, long term endurance means the duration is long and speed is slow, and this type of endurance is required in the activity like cross country running, long distance race, cycling, marathon race, etc. Training methods to develop endurance. What are the methods to develop endurance? There are three methods: continuous training methods, interval training methods, and fartlek training methods. Let's discuss first continuous training methods. Continuous training methods, this is one of the oldest methods in which the player performs running or any activity for a long period of time without rest break or intervals in between. ठीक है, continuous training methods means you have to do the activity without any break. You have to do the activity for long period of time without any break. And continuous training methods, it is of three types: slow continuous training methods, fast continuous training methods, and variable continuous training methods. Slow continuous training methods. Slow continuous training methods. Slow continuous training methods. In this training methods, the distance, the speed. Okay, in this training method, the distance is more and the speed is slow. Okay, this method is basically used by cross country runners, long distance runners, cycling, football players, hockey players, etc. It develops high levels of aerobic endurance. In this, the speed, okay, in slow continuous training methods, speed is slow, but the duration of workout is long. The duration of workout is approximately, in slow continuous training methods, the duration is approximately 1 to 2 hours, and the distance covered, and the distance to cover is 10 to 20 kilometers. And the heart rate is kept 140 to 170 beats per minute. And workout is done with a slow pace, means with a slow to medium, approximately 50 to 70% of your maximum ability. Fast continuous training methods. Fast continuous training methods, you have to do the activity with high speed and the duration is short. Okay, this method is basically used by the sprinters, middle distance runners. In this develop your anaerobic endurance along with speed. The duration, the workout is performed with fast speed. Okay, fast continuous training methods, the workout is done with fast speed, with maximum speed and maximum speed. It is performed for the duration of about 15 to duration 15 to 30 minutes, and the distance is 5 to 10 kilometers, and your heartbeat is kept around 160 to 200 beats per minute, and workout is done at the 70 to 90% of your maximum ability. You have to do the activity with maximum speed, that is 70 to 90% of your speed. Variable continuous training methods. Variable continuous training methods, it is a combinations of fast and slow pace continuous method, means it is a combinations of fast and slow exercise, fast and slow. Sometimes you have to do the exercise with fast speed and sometimes you have to do the active with slow speed. Okay, in this method the speed is kept on changing. Okay, in this variables continuous training methods, the speed is continuously changing. Sometimes your speed is fast and sometimes it is slow. From fast to slow is done, and it is done for 30 minutes to 1 hours, and the distance is 10 to 15 kilometers, and your heart rate is kept 140 to 200 beats, and your workout speed is 40 to 100% of the best ability. These are the type of continuous training methods: fast continuous training methods, variable slow continuous training methods, fast continuous training methods, and slow continuous training methods. Look at here. In this, okay, for slow continuous training methods, your distance will be 10 to 20 kilometers, and the duration is 1 to 2 hours. In fast, you have to do the workout for 5 to 10 kilometers. Okay, the distance is 5 to 10 kilometers and the time is 15 to 30 minutes. And wherever the distance is 15 to 10 to 15 kilometers and the time is 30 minutes to 1 hours. And your heart beat, your heart rate is kept 140 to 70. In fast, 160 to 200. In variables, your heartbeat is 140 to 200 beats per minute. And your speed for the slow continuous, your speed is 50 to 70%. And in fast, you have to do the activity with fast speed, therefore your speed will be 70 to 90% of your best. And in variables, your speed is sometimes fast, sometimes slow, so your speed is kept 40 to 90% of your best. And this is practice once in a week. Okay, slow continuous training methods, it should be done once in a week. It is done approx 1 or 2 in a week, and it should be 1 or 2 times in a week. And fatigue, in slow continuous training method, the fatigue is high. In fast, it is very high. In fast continuous training methods, your fatigue levels is very high because you do the activity with fast speed. And in variables continuous, your fatigue is high. These are the types of continuous training methods.